we tend to miss a lot of social things. It's making friends might be a little bit harder. And I say this making friends as an adult is hard in general.
No.
But and this starts in childhood that you might have sensory issues with clothing, with food, with noises, and it's to a level that's more detrimental than typically would be. For me, I've learned I've got about a 3-hour time limit for being around people, and my friends all giggle at me because they know once I hit that 3-hour mark, my brain just kicks in and says, "We need to go home." And before I would push through and I'm like, "No, this is not normal. This is not normal. Push through, deal with it, deal with it." And then I would go home and almost have a meltdown because I was so overstimulated. And then it feels like words are hard at that point in time. Like trying to find words is like walking through a bowl of syrup. It's just everything slows down and it's tough and pulling out the words is hard. Sometimes making decisions. This happened to me 2 nights ago. I went to a restaurant that I had never been to and I did not prep, and I should have prepped. I know better than this. I know better. I should have read the menu, but I did not. I did not. I found one hamburger that sounded amazing. I only read half the description. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. So I didn't prep. And I get there and then I realized I had read the wrong description. It was not the ham.
No.
And then we stood in line to order. Everybody ordered. And I almost started crying because I didn't know what to order because nothing looked familiar. Nothing in my mind sounded safe. And so I'm sitting here like a deer in headlights, like, I don't know what to order.
Welcome to Your Wordless Podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nick Nieras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now, let's dive in. Are you stuck in a job that you don't love, feeling like you're meant for more? It is not in your head, it is in your soul. I am Nick Nieras, and I help high achievers like you break free from burnout, rewire self-doubt, and build a life aligned with purpose through coaching, hypnotherapy, and soul activation. Because let's face it, real wealth isn't just about money. It is about aligned and happy heart, mind, and soul. Now, remember, you are worthy and you are enough. Let's transform your life together. Visit www.thenicknierasholisticlifestyle.com to begin.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Likewise, the honor is mine. Dr. Kristen, first off, right off the bat, can you please share with us what was it like growing up as Dr. Kristen Williamson?
Well, let me pause you right there and say, you can just call me Kristen. I use
Okay.
doctor whenever I want to get a fancier room in a hotel.
I love that. Okay, Kristen, you got it.
Growing up was interesting because I didn't get diagnosed as autistic myself until I was 39. So I lived a whole life. I had a career, family, raising kids who were neurodivergent. Like I learned all of these things before I learned I was neurodivergent myself. So I grew up feeling almost like I was an alien just walking among humans wearing a disguise. I didn't feel like I fit in ever. And you know what? I still have moments where I feel like I am just kind of pretending to be human just because I don't always understand the social norms that for other people appear to come so easily.
Really?
Mhm.
Now, okay, so how did that come about? You having to actually go and get yourself diagnosed? Like, what were the journey?
It was a hot minute journey. I was already working as a counselor. I had worked in hospitals and in private practice and in multiple areas. And a therapist friend of mine one day looked at me and he said, I think you're autistic. And I was, no, I'm not. My son's autistic. I'm
Mm.
not. I don't look like that or this or this or this. Like, I don't do that. I can make eye contact with people. And then he sent me, I think it was a YouTube video, something explaining female autism. And it really rocked me to my core. Just, I, embarrassingly enough, at that point in time, I had no idea that females can look different. Females can present different with autism, that it can be a little bit more subdued, but it's still very, very prevalent. And so it took me about 5 years. In America, we don't necessarily have insurance that wants to pay for an adult to get an autism diagnosis, because
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, there's not a whole lot that can be done with the diagnosis. There's not a medication that can take it away. There's not benefits, quote unquote, to doing that. So I had to pay out of pocket to get testing, and it's quite expensive. And so it took a while to save up to get everything. And I was getting the testing was the validation of everything I'd been learning about myself and learning about other people's brains for years. And it was like I got to release a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. And it just
And
felt cool.
it felt cool.
It felt cool.
Okay. It felt cool that now you've embraced this part of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have known it for the longest time, right? But this is not me. I
Yeah.
am just going to detach from that because this is this is the people that exhibit these traits, and therefore it's them, it's not me,
I
right?
didn't even think of it's them, it's not me. I just thought of, okay, these are the traits. Like, these are the things you exhibit. I didn't think I don't like wearing specific kinds of clothing because I don't like how it feels on my body, or I like eating with specific kinds of spoons, or I vehemently do not like eating leftovers because sometimes chicken tastes too much like chicken.
Right. Yeah.
And it's hard to describe that. I was like, no, that's just me. That's just a thing. And it was there was so little research into neurodivergence, into autism with women. Autism testing, when it was started, it was created for young white males of affluence. And so
Ooh, that's super specific. Yeah.
people of color
That's
were
very
missed, women were missed. And so if for a long, long time, if we didn't hit the criteria that was tested on like 8-year-old white boys, we're overly emotional. We're just
yeah.
hysterical. We are just anxious. We're given every other diagnosis other than
We're
autism.
just dramatic.
You're just dramatic. You're too much. You're too
Yes.
sensitive.
Okay. Now this is me being curious. And I mean, honestly, for those people listening, I'm just going to go back to basics. So, what are the traits that females with autism will and should, maybe not should, but that they portray and that they exhibit, that they show?
I, first things first, such a cheerleader for people and learning about their brains, not even saying I have to get a diagnosis, like just learning about their brains and getting that like an unofficial diagnosis,
Yes.
because they're still able to come in and advocate for themselves. With neurodivergence, with ADHD, like your brain has 100 sticky notes in it, and every sticky note has something interesting or awesome, and you just want to read it, but you can't focus on one because you keep jumping back and forth to different ones. And so it's very hard to just pay attention to one singular thing. You need to almost be doing something else while you're doing it. It's watching TV, playing on your phone, or doing a puzzle, or sitting at your desk and you're fiddling with something all the time. It feels almost
Okay.
as though you are run by a motor, like you can't stop. It's hard to sit down. It's hard to relax. Your brain just doesn't shut off. With autism, and I'm going very broadly with a lot of these things. With autism,
Hi, I'm Nick Nieras, your host of the Your Worthless podcast. Now, if these real raw stories hit home, Don't wait, please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait, your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now.
We tend to miss a lot of social things. It's making friends might be a little bit harder. And I say this, making friends as an adult is hard in general.
Enough.
And this starts in childhood, that you might have sensory issues with clothing, with food, with noises, and it's to a level that's more detrimental than typically would be. For me, I've learned I've got about a 3-hour time limit for being around people, and my friends all giggle at me because they know once I hit that 3-hour mark, my brain just kicks in and says, we need to go home. And before I would push through and I'm like, no, this is not normal. This is not normal. Push through, deal with it, deal with it. And then I would go home and almost have a meltdown because I was so overstimulated. And then it feels like words are hard at that point in time. Like trying to find words is like walking through a bowl of syrup. It's just everything slows down and it's tough, and pulling out the words is hard. Sometimes making decisions. This happened to me 2 nights ago. I went to a restaurant that I had never been to, and I did not prep, and I should have prepped. I know better than this. I know better. I should have read the menu, but I did not. I did not. I found one hamburger that sounded amazing. I only read half the description. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. So I didn't prep. And I get there, and then I realized I had read the wrong description. It was not the hamburger.
Oh no.
And then we stood in line to order. Everybody ordered, and I almost started crying because I didn't know what to order because nothing looked familiar. Nothing in my mind sounded safe. And so I'm sitting here
Right.
like a deer in headlights, like, I don't know what to order. Oh my gosh. And then I just immediately ordered a pizza at a hamburger restaurant
Oh my God.
because I got so stressed out and nervous because I didn't prepare. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, pizza, because my brain says, you know what this is? This is safe. And I'm sitting over here like, I'm a counselor. I have my doctorate. I can't order a hamburger easily.
What a paradox. I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. Like there's predominantly whoever that's in the very same industry that treating and in that same diagnosis, they've been diagnosed in themselves, and how can they miss that, right?
Yeah. It's, I've actually been learning, and this is really, really cool. Kind of really cool. It's cool that I'm learning it. There is not a lot of therapists who have been diagnosed. And so or they're diagnosed with ADHD, but not autism. And so they don't, like, they work with autism, but they don't know how to work with people who have autism. They can come in and talk about, oh yeah, well, we know your brain does this or this or this, but if they've not really lived it, they don't know. And so they might just be giving information, but they don't know how it feels to be standing in line, not being able to order food because you hadn't prepped ahead of time.
Wow. Great. Now you said you have children?
I do.
Yes, and they're neurodivergent as well.
Yes, I have a 15-year-old boy who got diagnosed with autism and ADHD when he was 8. And for me, again, it was still like, oh my gosh. And not even that this is great, but oh my gosh, I have a diagnosis. I have pathways. I know what I can do to help him. Let me go learn everything that I can. And it was still hard. Raising neurodivergent children is hard because he
Tell
might,
me, because I don't have kids, but I have a friend. Yeah, right now two actually, who are raising neurodivergent.
okay. So he's 15 and he has ADHD and autism. My 12-year-old girl only just recently, a couple months ago, got diagnosed with ADHD because girls show differently. So
Right.
they're like, no, she's fine. She's fine. She's getting good grades. She's fine. They're not paying attention to internally. She's struggling. She's having a
Mm-hmm.
hard time. She can't focus. She can't do these things. And then she feels like she has to be perfect because
Why are you like? I'm checking a list here to myself. I've been trying. I know I have not. I have been speaking to a lot of people, and they're giving me all this list of traits,
Mhm,
and I'm like,
mhm.
maybe Nick, maybe.
See, it's worthy of looking into. Getting an unofficial diagnosis is still very powerful.
How do I do that? Go
You learn
online
about
and
it. You
okay,
go
I
find assessments. I
okay.
I loved this is gonna be a totally different rabbit hole, but one of the only silver linings to COVID is the world shut down. So people went online, they shared their stories. And as they were sharing their stories, it helped other people learn that they weren't alone. And that's where so many of my women started learning about themselves. And oh my gosh, so powerful. Raising neurodivergent kids, it's it's hard when they're little because they don't have words. Like kids in general don't have feeling words. It's our job as parents to teach them, are you feeling sad? Are you upset? Are you frustrated? Are you blah 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 blah. Neurodivergent
Right.
kids, neurodivergents in general, we oftentimes struggle with something called alexithymia. Alexithymia is basically we don't understand the emotions that are within our body, with the emotions that we're feeling. We might know that, hey, I am clenching my jaw, but we don't know that when we clench our jaw, we're starting to feel angry. We just notice
Right.
the
But
physical symptoms. And so parents checking in with their kids, are you angry? And these kids, no, but they look angry. They're acting angry, but they don't have that brain body connection of I am angry, I am sad, I am frustrated. And so as parents, we are just constantly coming in trying to identify. We are having to understand them more than they understand themselves and teach them in understanding themselves and then reteach because they don't instinctively get it. A glorious story that my 15-year-old probably doesn't ever love me using, but I do it anyway, is he is in high school now and we still have to tell him, you have to shower tonight. You have to wash everything from top to
oh my
bottom.
god, that's what I've been doing every day to my 12-year-old sister.
Yes, yes. And it's in my mind, I was thinking, okay, you know what? Teenagers, kids, they're just stinky. They don't want to shower all the time. Like, that's normal. I didn't want to shower all the time. Like, but when he started showering, he would leave the top part of his hair just dirty, 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 dirty. And I was so judgmental in the beginning. I was like watching YouTube, like, how do I teach my kid how to shower, how to wash his hair? Did I do it wrong? And
Uh
I'm
huh.
sitting there judging myself and my parenting and blaming him. And then I paused and I decided to get curious. I was like, I need to be curious, not judgmental. And I started asking questions. And it turns out he was having sensory issues. He really struggles to have water touching his face. And so he would
Why?
avoid getting the top part of his hair wet because it would
It's
drip.
naturally
Mhm. The simple solution for us was to get a different shower head that you can hold and control, and it made the
right.
entire difference. But it took me getting curious instead of sitting there just lumping him in with, "You're lazy. You're this. You're this. You don't know how to wash your hair." Of course he does. He was just
Mm-hmm.
struggling so much and he was avoiding it and would just deal with the consequences.
Right. He would rather deal with the consequences
Uh-huh.
than just speaking up and saying, I don't want water to touch my eyes.
I don't even know that he had the words to say,
Ex-
I don't
yeah.
like or like, it's hard when water touches me, so I had to come in and start asking the questions, and then he could share.
Or he could feel like if he were to say those things, you'd judge him and say, what do you mean? It's just water. You can just, you know.
Right? Which, I mean,
Right.
I hate having wet hair touching my back. I hate
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Ugh.
I usually
So,
put, yeah.
I would love to say that I would understand if he came in and said, "Yeah, I have a really hard time with water touching my face." In my head, I would love to say I'd be like, "Oh, okay, let's figure this out." But I don't know because he didn't come to me like that.
Yeah.
So, it was a humbling experience on my side of, "Okay, nope, I can continue being curious if he is struggling with something for a longer amount of time, and with my daughter too, because she is more ADHD and he is more autistic. So they are structure and chaos.
Wait, hang on. So ADHD is chaos?
ADHD is so chaotic. It's like you are chasing 5 ducklings around, going in different directions, and you're trying to collect them. And the ADHD is they're just running and chasing the ducklings. The autism, they've created a fence for the ducklings. They've got a house. They've set it up. They are nicely corralled in there,
Wow,
but they had to
it's so
build it.
interesting.
And with the ADHD brain, they do really well with structure, but they don't want it.
Want to That's me.
Mm, mm, mm.
I need structure to function, but I don't like it. I don't like being
Yeah.
constricted to a routine.
My gosh, you're hitting all the buttons.
And you guys are hearing this live as you as you tune into this right now. Okay, I'm every day. I think as the day passes by, I think I'm exhibiting those traits, but I'm just trying to understand from the people, at least not from my country, from Malaysia. People are outside and they have this, and not just that. My brother-in-law is like this too, and I think he self-diagnosed himself. He diagnosed himself that he has a mild ADHD. So I'm like, oh, okay. But I never really thought about it. I never really thought it through that I might have that too. And I'm not sure if this can be generalized, but people who are high achievers often, I don't know, because they like to do all things at once, everything at once, and they take pride in multitasking. I don't know if that's one of the very trait of being ADHD.
It is. Think about it this way. I learned this when my kiddo got to do therapy. They would give him gum to chew in order to go do the things. And they said chewing gum helped your brain to focus to do something else. And so it's needing to do something in order to focus. So I have like fidgets here. I have a little like under the desk foot mover. I'm always moving. I'm always doing something in order to talk and engage, because if not, I can be looking at you, but my brain is jumping around. It's chasing butterflies. It's playing with cats. I have a harder time just sitting and focusing. And so doing 2 things at once, it's almost imperative that
Necessity.
we have to do it.
Yes, yes.
Well, and
Shoot.
ADHD, there's different, not even levels, like there's different
Degrees.
types of ADHD. There's the inattentive type, the hyperactive type, and then the combined type. The inattentive is like the daydreamer. It would be the quiet kiddo who would look out the window, not even causing trouble, not doing any of that, but only halfway paying attention to class.
Mm.
Adults might zone out in work meetings. They might forget appointments. They might lose things like their earbuds or their keys. Like if they're not in a specific place, then they might get lost, because we need the structure, but we push against
Right.
it. The hyperactive type, that's definitely the type that we have been thinking about kind of when we think of ADHD. The kids that can't sit still, they're always running
Yeah.
and jumping on things, that are loud, the class clowns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As we get into adults, it looks like they're fidgeting constantly, or they drive really fast, or they're jumping different jobs. It's almost like their nervous system on a volume level has been cranked up and just like up, it's just going. And then there's the combined type, where you have the inattentive and the hyperactive impulsive type. So you are losing your keys, but you also are interrupting your boss and then forgetting what you're saying. And it's chaos in the brain, and it's exhausting. And it happened.
Okay. Now we talk about the the issues that comes with this very, I don't want to say issues because that's like degrading, but the side effects of being neurodivergent, right? So what can people do if, let's say, you went and diagnose yourself? I mean, not you, but at the age of 39, that's kind of late, right? What do you need to do, number one, and how do you kind of navigate through that? Like, what kind of support you need, your daily ritual. I know we talk about
Yeah.
ADHD, that's the very opposite of that, not
I
having a ritual.
love that question. As you are learning about your brain, find out where you are phenomenally good at things and
Yes.
where
Yes.
you're struggling. Because
Yes.
my neurospicy brains, I call us neurospicy because I believe we have the spice of life. It just might be a potent spice and
Mm-hmm.
not always
A little bit
easy.
more extra
Yeah, we've got
than
that
other
extra
people.
spice.
Exactly.
So with my neurospicy brains, we're really good at pattern recognition. I have been told we are the ones who we understand the vibes of
Oh my
things.
God, yes. I
You
thought it
walk
was just
into
my
a room.
Scorpion.
Yes. Did you say Scorpio?
Yes. I thought it
Oh,
was just my
Scorpio.
girl.
Love it. No, see, your brain might be on the spicier side of things. It's that you
But
can go in and just like pick up on the vibes. And I see that more with the ADHD brains because it's again their volume is cranked up. The other
yes.
brains, we might miss everything. Like, zoom, like what people are talking about us? I didn't notice that. What?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so it's learning about yourself and learning, like for me, I really do not do well with eating leftovers, and my family has learned that. So they know if I bring leftover food home, they're going to eat it. And I learned that. And I am fine with that because it's getting eaten. And if we cook, we can put it in the freezer because I can eat that different time. But if it's multiple days in a row, my brain just struggles with it.
Right.
And so, like, as everyone's learning about their brain, they might learn, hey, we need to read the menus ahead of time. We need to know the pathway for driving, how to get to a place, or we might get really, really anxious. Because I work with clients who are on the autism spectrum or just learning about themselves on the autism spectrum, I learned not everyone knows what to do. So I started
Yes.
making workbooks. I started making
Oh,
workbooks for
share with us.
I'll show you. Look at this. It's
Yes.
like it's from my neurospicy brains.
Wow.
And
you had it printed.
I
A
did,
neurospicy
yeah.
workbook.
And it's like a whole bunch of different like prompts, and there's cats, and there's a whole bunch of different things. One, because I really like cats, so I just added cats everywhere. And it's learning about your sensory issues, learning about time management, and just learning about your brain.
And how important is regulating your own emotion?
So important. And even in the regulating your emotions, it's fun learning that you're having emotions, learning that you're stressed out, because you might not understand you're stressed out, but the people around you are noticing that you're getting kind of mean, you're getting kind of snappy. And so it's like, okay, well, why am I getting snappy? Am I overwhelmed? Am I hot? Have I not eaten anything today? Like, what's going on? Like, and then you just kind of can run through a checklist. Have I eaten? Do I need to go to the bathroom? Do I need to take a break? Do I need some water? Because a lot of us live on coffee and not water.
You just said, I mean, yeah, I haven't had coffee today, but I'm not going to. I just had tea, so they'll do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's okay. I think more and more people should know about neurodivergence at least, and because if they're not, if not, they're not the ones diagnosed with that. At least there are people under. They're caring for other people who are diagnosed with that. They can sort of navigate through that very because it can be very challenging. Like,
It
and
can
then
be.
like you said, yeah, autism has different degrees, right? There's like mild autism, and then there's to the
No,
other end
not
of the spectrum.
anymore. Not anymore.
No?
Well, the words are different now.
Oh,
You're right. It
okay.
is from mild to higher end, but they've changed,
Yes.
at least for in America, possibly worldwide. I'm
Mm-hmm.
now coming in realizing that I don't know if it's worldwide, if they've changed it or not. But in America,
Right.
we have it levels, level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1
Mm-hmm.
is the milder one. It
Mm-hmm.
goes by support needs on a daily basis. Where are the support needs you're at? Level 1s have less supports. It's telling my 15-year-old, hey,
Right.
you need this or this or this. Pushing the 12-year-old into the shower because you need to shower. Level 2 is higher support needs. They might have a harder time doing, like, getting dressed. They might not be able to drive cars. They might not be able to work in certain jobs as easily. And so they have day-to-day needs that are higher. And then level 3 is like the highest of support needs. It's ones where they might not be able to speak, so they use a tablet to communicate, where they need help going to the bathroom, where they need help eating or dressing themselves, and they have very, very high needs.
Mm.
So level 1 is the lowest. Level 1 is where I see a lot
They're
of my
they're
neurodivergent.
functional
Mhm.
on their own. They're
Yeah,
independent to a certain degree.
and I think that it definitely changes person to person and where the support needs range, but I can see
Yeah.
it. You can pull off being human 95% of the time. It's that 5% where if something goes wrong, it really goes wrong.
Yeah. No, because I have a friend of mine, her brother is on, I think, on the one that needs the higher support needs. So, and
That's tough.
I've only met him. I met him once when he was a kid, and now he's already 14. And when I met him again, it's really, the traits are really prominent where
Yeah.
yeah. And I seeing like that, I have mad respect towards the mom and her, because they all, so they have to take turns whenever they want to go on holidays. She
Mhm.
All of them, they can't
Mhm.
go like all in, as a group. So I mean, everybody has their own challenges to deal with in life,
Yeah.
and I just want to be grateful with because with
Yeah. It puts
because
things into
nobody is having it
perspective.
easy. Exactly. Yeah. Put
It
things
really,
into
really
perspective
does.
for sure.
What's interesting for me that I learned is neurodivergence is a dominant trait in our genetics. So if your kid has been diagnosed with ADHD, with autism, there's a chance
Oh,
you or their other parent has it, or your parents have it, or their parents have it. Like, it's dominant in our genetics.
okay. Okay. So it can be passed down.
Uh-huh.
Because I was about to ask you if you've, done any research whether it is our lifestyle that's causing this, or is it genetic?
Genetics plays a big role in it. The lifestyle, it's making it to where our brains don't pay attention very long anymore with TikTok, and the videos are 15 seconds. And as you can scroll and scroll and scroll, that makes it harder to want to pay attention. So it's not helping, but it's so interesting. It's so incredibly interesting to learn all of these things about our brain, and we're still learning about it.
Yes.
It's so cool. There's I don't know. I love our brains, and I say this as a level 1, not a level 3, because I can have a house, I can have a job, I can do these things, I can go on holiday with
Yes.
my family. But it's funny in saying that, with my 15-year-old who is a level 1, maybe level 2, I know in order to get him to leave the house, I have to start talking to him the day before. We're going to do this tomorrow. We're doing this. I need you to be dressed at this time. And I have to give him transition times. If I come in and say, okay, we're going to go do this, just spur of the moment, he will struggle. His brain's trying to figure out what's going on. And then he comes across as really angry because his brain does not know how to handle things without transition time. And then if I do things like, we're going to leave the house at 3 o'clock, if it's 3:01, he is glaring at me. He is, why are we not going? It's 3 o'clock. It's
You
3 o'clock.
told me 3.
And his brain just hyper fixates on the thing. It's very
Yeah.
hard to be flexible. So there are
Okay.
struggles,
Yeah.
but just because we have struggles doesn't mean that our brain isn't super cool. Like we're able to come
Talk
in.
to us about the superpowers
Oh my gosh, the
of being
superpowers.
neurodivergent.
We're able to do
Yes,
things that are
please.
not normal. Humans,
We have
well,
bragging rights now. Let's go.
we do. Right. We tend to put people in boxes that we understand. Like, okay, I'm going to put you in this box. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But
My
sometimes the
autism
other
brain,
side of yeah.
the ADHD brains, the autism brains, we're like, look at this box. I'm going to add glitter to it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Or they're saying, I don't need to be put in a box. I'm going to go walk backwards down the street. And their brain says, that's a great idea. Where other people who are so structured in, I have to do things normally, they're going to look at someone walking backwards down the street and say, what? What? That's weird. Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. But it's fun. And I can do this
Yes.
where you can't. And so it's just
They'll struggle.
incredibly creative in ways that a lot of people don't understand. And it can be
Yeah.
like things from music or storytelling or computer design. Like we bring all new flavors of spice to the table.
I noticed with me, like, I'm very resourceful. I get
Mhm.
very, I know crafty is more on the negative side, but I get very, very crafty and I always get things done. I mean, my way. I always thought of it as my own superpower. And
See, you're already coming in understanding that you've got a superpower.
plus my persuasiveness, I mean, it just
Oh yeah.
tops it up. And the
Uh-huh.
intuition, well, I mean, you can resonate. You're
Oh
a
yeah.
Scorpio, right? It's like you can almost tell, like, this is the best time. This is my chance. It's now or never to go and brands at, I don't know, like asking my boss something or my dad something and have it be so confident that I am going to get it no matter what, and which
Yeah.
I will.
See,
Often.
halfway, because I've got the ADHD and the autism, I will halfway come in with the confidence, but I will confidently come in at the wrong time. My intuition says, do it. But the autism says, all right.
Not now.
Yeah, it's like, no, let's do it. This is great. And other people are in the middle of eating. And I'm like, let's have a big, deep conversation about death. And they're like mid fork to mouth.
Huh?
And
Couldn't
I'm
you
like,
pick a
oh, is
better
that the wrong
timing?
time? I am spectacular at doing things at the wrong time.
I would say that I do have those times, but it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of understanding your own self. And
Yeah.
that's why, I mean, the whole reason why I started podcasting was, number one, it was because I thought I was going to go crazy after my divorce. And then I had my toxic burnout, but
Mhm.
burnout at a toxic environment. And so I was like, okay, maybe I just need to strip everything that I know about myself down and just relearn, start talking to people. If I'm, why does it feel like I'm the only person with the biggest problem in the world at that point?
Mhm.
So now talking to people has basically alleviated, and people are resonating.
Isn't that cool? Your
Yes.
stories and your ability to bring other people together to share their stories is reaching far out there.
I know, and who would have thought we'd be speaking, right? I don't think you would
So
have thought we'd
cool.
speak somebody from Malaysia. No, you can call it. You can tell people that you have a friend. I know somebody from
No,
Malaysia,
I'm so
and she does
excited.
podcasts.
See, that's so exciting. I have found fellow spicy brains across
Exactly.
continents.
Yes. All right. Kristen, we are going to go into some questions that I picked up from. What role does understanding and embracing one's neurodivergence play in building long-term self-esteem and personal growth?
I think
I know
as
we talk about this.
we did, but I'm going to come in and kind of really push, like, as you were learning your brain and accepting your brain, it makes life easier. Like knowing that you don't have to push and really do a lot of intense things, or like my brain struggles with showering with the water touching the face. So it's you can get different shower heads. You can do things different, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that builds into higher self-esteem because you are no longer sitting there saying, well, I'm wrong. You're saying, okay, I just do things a little bit differently. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Because, okay, again,
Mhm.
self-worth, right? Like, if
Self-worth.
you come in and tell me repeatedly that I'm doing one thing wrong, then I'm going to attach, at least me, I'm going to attach that something's wrong with me and I am not worth
Yeah.
anything. I don't amount to anything because I can't even do this simple thing right.
Yeah, I can't do the smallest thing. I struggle
Yes,
brushing my teeth, so that means I'm a
exactly.
horrible person.
Yes. That's a very telltale sign of me having. In what ways can someone begin to reframe their identity after a late diagnosis to foster self acceptance?
In reframing their identity, I want them so much to come in and say, "My brain is really cool." Or my brain is different, but not less. And it's so much I can do things differently, but I still get there. Instead of going from A to Z, I might start with A, Z, cats, food, numbers, but I still get the job done.
Hmm.
And it's
And,
the same way to do it.
when you were saying those things, I just noticed that, and you have a PhD. Come on.
Mhm.
If you can do it, everybody else
Yeah.
can do it. Yeah.
I got my PhD not diagnosed.
Exactly. You got a PhD not diagnosed. Damn, we're cool.
We are
Yes,
cool.
we're the cool bunch. All right. Kristen, so what are you working on currently? What's exciting?
I'm having a book published in April of next year for women who are neurodivergent. And
Wow.
it goes from puberty all the way through menopause because there's not enough books out there that talk about females and being neurodivergent, that talk about the struggles of parenting. And it's so cool. And so while that book is coming out, I've been making workbooks and putting those online so people can get them and learn about their brains. And it's so much fun.
My God, you're doing such great work. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so what is next for you then? What's next for Kristen?
What's next is probably being super nerdy and creating more workbooks because I have a lot of fun making them. My brain's like, look at the pretty colors. I can do this. And I love doing podcasts. Doing podcasts, I get to spread the knowledge about autism and how it's not the stigma that we thought it was. And it's more normalizing it and normalizing it for people who
Yes.
are raising kids who are on the spectrum, for adults who are learning about themselves, who are learning about ADHD, and just getting to tell the world that they're okay
Yeah, they're okay. And then they're not alone.
and they're not alone and they can do this. They can do hard
Exactly.
things.
Exactly. I love that. Wow. Okay, Kristen, we're gonna pivot to a self-worth question. So the question that I have for you when I were when I was reading your profile, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna choose this question for her. In your journey, have you found a connection between spirituality and self-worth? How do spiritual beliefs or practices influence your sense of self?
Oh my gosh, I love that question. I love that question so much. In spirituality, I love the idea of I'm not alone, but it's not connected to any one belief. It's just the idea of there's something bigger than me
Oh my God, yes.
and not letting go of all my struggles to whatever higher power there is, but saying something else is here with me. The universe is connecting with me to put me together with you, to get together and talking with others and saying that we did this. And for everyone, for their beliefs, for their faith, it can be really powerful.
I'm gonna soaking it in. Thank you. What is your heart's greatest wish?
To let the world know that it's not their job to make themselves smaller in order to make others feel better. That's a big one because we do that.
That's a big one, yeah. So this is an intentional pause. I love that. Okay, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say to bring in one of my mantras is just because your brain is different, that does not mean it's less.
Just because your brain is different, that does not mean that you're less.
Mm-hmm.
So how can people reach out to you, Kristen? I mean, this has been wonderful.
You can find me on most every branch of social media. I am on TikTok a lot, posting videos about autism, and Instagram and YouTube. You just search up Dr. Kristen, and I will be that weirdo with multicolored hair coming in talking to you.
Any last messages to our listeners tuning in right now?
Really just want people to know that if they've ever questioned themselves, if they're struggling with their parenting, if their kids are on the spectrum or they think they're on the spectrum, that's not a life sentence in a negative way.
Yeah.
You get to understand their brains, but that doesn't mean that they won't go far in life. That doesn't mean you can't go far in life. That doesn't mean where you are at right now isn't spectacular. And we can do really hard things. We've done hard things. And we can keep going, and it's okay.
And there you have it, everyone. That was an inspiring episode with Dr. Kristen Williamson. Dr. Kristen, I thank you for the work that you do, for continuing to uplift the world and the world and the people around you, honestly.
Thank you
And for our
so
listeners,
much.
thank you. And for our listeners, this has been You're Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you've ever felt worthless, remember you are not alone. Your soul chose to be here, to matter. And for that reason alone, you are worthy. A huge thank you to you again, Dr. Kristen, and to all of you for listening. Until next time, I am Nick Nieras. Keep shining, keep growing, and always remember you are worthy and you are enough. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Kristen, for your time.
Thank you.
Yay!
Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to @holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website, www.deniaraswholisticlifestyle.com for more info on my coaching framework, which is the Worthy, Authentic, and Abundant Framework, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check on your soul path. And if you're also wanting to check on your energetic alignment, I have done that too. And I offer that kind of services. So, my question to you is, are you ready? Because I am. Let's create your next.
Hello, Dr. Kristen. How are you doing today? Good morning to you.
Hi, good evening to you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited to be across the water talking.
Exactly. I mean, we're at the ends of the world talking, but thanks to technology, we are here. So, Dr. Kristen, I'd like to introduce myself to you formally and to all of our listeners tuning in for the first time and or returning subscribers. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Full stop, read that again, full stop, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, today we're going to talk about ADHD, autism, and everything under the sun that's related to that. So, if you allow me, I'd like to introduce you to all of our listeners first, and then we can get right into our conversation.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. We have Dr. Kristen Williamson here with us. Dr. Kristen is a licensed professional counselor, consultant, and speaker specializing in neurodivergence, mental health, and late life diagnoses of ADHD and autism. Now, with nearly a decade of experience in behavioral health management, mental health training, and clinical counseling, she has worked extensively with adults navigating neurodivergence, emotional regulations, and self-acceptance. Well, welcome to the show, Dr. Kristen.